Hello and welcome back. Last time, Snake's plan failed after dragons and after dogs. We're now down to 1 versus 8. We split off into 2 groups of 4 against our objections. And right now, this is Bunny's plan, who is currently trapped in a closet, doors face down, while Horse fights against Tiger. Sheep and I are hiding, and the other 4 are off somewhere on their own. The best chance we have is probably to save Tiger's life, even though Tiger's doomed to die no matter what. Then again, assuming, actually no, I'm assuming she can't win at this point because Dog's already dead and we've already made moves. So, the best chance she has is, she doesn't have a best chance. I guess to win, That's a chance to win. Anyway, this is the plan, so let's see what Tiger does. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Tiger once again rushed at Horse, for one catching him by surprise. She pinned him against the blocked off door, holding both his arms down either side of the wall. Now Bunny, fire through the door. It must have taken Bunny a second to realise what she meant by this, because there was a pause before the bullets started whizzing through. Horse, however, realised what this meant by an instant and made to escape by headbutting Tiger and rushing away. In the past, this sort of evasive tactic would have resulted in Horse making a clean escape right before he would turn around to attack his attacker. Not this time. Horse was hit in the side by the first bullet, but it wasn't anything crucial. But it clearly weakened him. As Horse gripped, there's a gripped or griped? I'm assuming griped. Oh, gripped, sorry. Gripped his teeth. Tiger grabbed on the trophy case blocking the door and shoved it aside. The sound of the heavy closet moving away from was enough to notify Bunny that he could now kick down the door. Finish him. Oh, Mortal Kombat. Die, you monster of man. Bunny started firing both pistols at Horse before the first bullet was shot. Horse had already leaped up at Bunny. The bulky man somehow jumped with the height of the gymnast. Yeah, even he wasn't able to fully get out of the way of the barrage. 2 bullets hit his left leg, blood splattering onto the ground. In Horse's mind, this might have been a small price to pay, but after all, with the jump he was able to get right up to Bunny. With a clean sweep, he grabbed onto both of Bunny's hands and squeezed them so hard I could hear bones breaking down the hall. Ouch. Bunny cried out in pain and dropped both pistols. Horse began to then swung the smaller man like he was nothing more than a prop, tossing him down the hall. Bunny's limply skidded across the hallway. Horse looked as though he meant to finish Bunny off, but Tiger wasn't having that. She kicked right at Horse's head. Again, normally Horse shouldn't have been able to dodge that sort of strike, but instead, the blow solidly landed with a nasty thunk. I wasn't sure if Tiger was practically speedy, matching Horse's reflexes, or if Horse was simply starting to feel fatigue. Either way, the attack on Horse did nothing but make him an enraged punching machine. Left hook, right hook, left straight, right straight. Horse unleashed a barrage of powerful fists at Tiger, each punch powerful enough to crack a stone. But Tiger kept pace, blocking and dodging each and every one, and while Tiger was being pushed back, Bunny was starting to recover. He slowly got to his feet, reached down and picked up one of the pistols. He tried to aim at Horse, but the 2 combatants were fighting too fast, and Tiger was squarely in the way. What's the matter, Bunny? Why not shoot me? Oh wait, you can't. Nearly forgot. Oh yeah? With that, Bunny aimed at his gun and he shot right through Tiger. He shot her right through her stomach. What the hell? But in theory, this might have been a worthy sacrifice. Horse's sight was blocked by Tiger, so he shouldn't have been able to see the oncoming bullet. and yet somehow, with the bullet, when the bullet came battling through the tiger's chest, it did not hit Horse, but rather the dagger he held in front of him. The hell? Sure, that flat side of the dagger was rather wide, but still, to use something like that to block a bullet that you couldn't see coming. Then Horse wound up his arm like a pitcher. Right as Tiger fell onto one of his knees when from the bullet wound, he let the dagger fly forward right at Bunny. It struck him right in the throat. God, he's like a horror movie villain. And immediately Bunny started to clutch at his neck and painfully choke. Tiger, to her credit, refused to go down from one bullet wound. But she determinedly stayed on her knee, on one knee, trying to get up. Horse put his hand together and struck down the killer with a killing intent. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, though I didn't. Though I had seen it so many times. Under impossible circumstances, Horse still managed to turn the tables and kill his attackers. He couldn't be beat. He was unstoppable. He was inevitable. He could do nothing. He could do nothing. He could do not. Oh, sorry. He could do nothing. Would do nothing except kill. Yeah, I thought that was a. Common period. He murdered each and every last one of us. We were going to die. There was nothing we could do. Death was inevitable. Mouse, snap out of it. Sheep tugged on my sleeve, trying to stop me from just blankly staring at the carnage. We gotta run out of here before Horse finishes that. Again, what's the point? Mouse, I don't have time for this. She closed her eyes and raised her hand. It shook and came right down at my face. Sheep, in that moment of desperation, slapped me. Sorry, I know I'm horrible. No, I needed that. You're right. Let's get out of here. My heart was still at the bottom of my stomach, but wallowed in what should certainly lead to death. Running still might not help. In this race, I was the mouse. No, I was the rat, and I would survive by fleeing like one. That's all I could do. It's truly a horror movie. We made our way up to a different section of the floor and hid ourselves in the chemistry lab. There, we caught our breath. How? It was perfect. We totally had him, and even still, he just didn't die. He really is incredible. He really is horrifying. I don't know what on earth could stop that beast. I don't even think he's human. Well, let's try stay on the bright side. What bright side? Tiger and Sheep just got murdered. No, the bright side. No. The sheep is right in front of us. Bunny died in front of us. I think there's good things to take from this. Nothing that makes it up for their deaths, of course. Well, the sacrifice went for nothing. He was shot in the side and twice in the leg. I know it didn't look like. I know it didn't look like it there, but that was to slow him down. Like you said, it didn't look like that there. That's because he was running on pure adrenaline. Once he calms down, the pain that has to kick in. And it's not like there's any medical supplies around here. The most he could do is bandage it up. So maybe he has to limp now. So what? That's not. It's not just that bullet. Tiger's sparred with him for a while now. Horse is really starting to sweat. He was getting tired. Not so tired he could throw a knife into a human body. True, but again, that was adrenaline. Think about it. At this point, Horse has been in 4 separate fights. He had to act fast to get the jump on Dog. He sparred with Dragon for a while. That definitely took some strength. He moved the vending machine and fought an attrition war to kill Snake. And against Bunny and Tiger, he just took some serious damage and spent a ton of energy. There's 7 of us left. 6 if we don't include Horse. We don't even know how if the others are alive still. He could have gotten to them first. He might be really strong, but he's still human. Humanity has its limits. He might be doing a bunch of seemingly impossible things, but most of that is probably due to the stress and danger of the situation bringing his muscles into hyperdrive. But that comes with a cost. Your brain has limited amount it can handle before it starts going south. So you're saying he's almost out of juice? He has to be, right? Horse hasn't been able to eat or drink properly in a while, and yesterday he was electrocuted and tied up and brought here for a long time. His body it must be incredibly sore. There's no way he's in good condition. If my math is right, then at that moment, he just needs one more kill to get across the finish line. Well, he's already got... No. He's got the knife, doesn't he? But if that's the case, then how do we know he's going to go after us? He might already have killed the others. That'd be all for nothing if he wasn't overarmed right now. So at the moment, he's probably not looking for us. Instead, he's resting up. Exactly. And also, I have this. Sheep handed to me a broken taser a dragon had shot at before. This is a taser from before, right? I found it on the second floor, and I thought, maybe it could be of some use. When Tiger and Rabbit were fighting him off, I tried my best to fix it. That didn't go too well, but I think it's I sort of have it working again. If I'm right, it'll fire once before I need to refix it. Oh, but it'll shoot out like kind of the short distance web. I couldn't fix that. Even so, if this is a great work, Sheep. With this, we actually have something to fight with. Exactly. I mean, it won't kill him, but if we hunt him down, we can, when he's weak, manage to stun him, and then make the dagger, get the dagger from him. We might just be able to win. You're right, Sheep. We can totally do this. I feel like you're gonna stab me in the back somehow. Not just for us, but for Pig, Monkey, Ox, and Rooster. We'll find him, and we'll end this. Let's go. Oh, we're kidding. We found him. Easy job. At that moment, it was at that moment Horse walked into the chemistry lab, not wearing his skill mask or carrying any weaponry. You find me, is it? Yeah, Horse. Monster. You just a bunch of insults, really. Easy with that. I get you're upset with me, but name calling is just petty. You know what's not petty? Tiger and Bunny's lives, Dragon's life. You seem to think those are but you seem to think those are petty. You must, or else why would you kill them? So I guess you're just not a very good judge of pettiness. I placed a good amount of significance in their deaths, as I will yours. You monster! I hope you rot in hell for this, and I hope you may rest in heaven. See, even when he's killing us, he's being respectful, I guess. It's hard to hate a Horse. Horse has been like. Snake and Horse, they have stayed true to their character. Ox, I'm still suspicious of, because especially he had the gun moments. But he's still been a good character as well. But I can't stay angry at Horse. So what happens now? With Tiger's death, everyone who I considered a threat now is dead. Even killing the rest of you should be easy. Please just surrender and let me give you a quick and painless exit. See? Oh, I can't. I'm in awe of him. That's it, huh? You're just going to calmly walk in here and murder us? That's how. If that's how you want it to be, then yes. If you want to be accommodating, do you mind telling us why you decided to do all this? It's not that an answer that would satisfy you. All right. Then what about this? What's the deal with the skull mask of yours? Why do you go berserk when you wear it? That mask, Yes, I suppose I owe you that much. Very well, then let me tell you my story. Oh goody, we can't wait to hear about this. I sense sarcasm. Oh no, not at all. I was raised in a bad part of Hightower. A lot of ruffians and a lot of gangs, troublemakers, and the like. Which was pretty inconvenient because my father was incredibly morally upright. He had a firm conviction of what was right and what was wrong. He instructed me to follow those teachings to the letter and ranted about how I couldn't stray from the noble path, how imperative it was that I be a good, upstanding son. talked about the dichotomy of people in this world, and how after we die, the virtues will be saved, and the sinful will be perished. And I obeyed him, not because I was afraid of punishment or anything, but because I believed in what he said and still believe it genuinely. So that defined my early childhood. I was a model student. I would never cheat, never lie, never cover for anyone. And that, of course, led to an incessant bullying from my class. I could tolerate it all fine, because I knew I was right. Eventually I started making some friends. They were, as my dad would put it, a bunch of troubled youths. But they were friendly with me, and at that time in my life, it's really all it took. Slowly but surely, they started convincing me to hang out with them after hours, to have some real fun. I told them again and again, no way, nothing good could come of it. And besides, if my dad ever found out, I'd be grounded forever. But they kept insisting. If I wanted to keep being their friend, I'd have to go out with them and have fun with them. Eventually, one of them offered me this skull mask. He said if I should wear it. That way, no one would be able to recognize me if I wouldn't get in trouble. So that's why he wears it. And he wears it to separate his actions from the person he wants to be. Even back then, I physically stood out. I couldn't but they convinced me that with a hoodie in the dark of night, no one would find out. When they presented the mask, I caved. I snuck out at night and got into some real trouble. I was wrecked with guilt, so I convinced myself that wasn't me, that was someone else. That was the Night Devil. We just happened to share a body. And so that's how I justified myself, and the next night I did the same thing. Then I justified it the same way. When I was wearing the skull mask out at night, I wasn't sinning, the Night Devil was. And the Night Devil was really having fun. Finally able to pen out his frustrations and run wild. I could control when I could control when I lost control. I guess after a while, I started really buying this whole dichotomy. I remained my father's model son. I never lied, I never cheated, never got into fights, never smoked, never drank. But the Night Devil? Oh, he was a real party animal. God, the horse. Horse, you had the wrong friends as a childhood. You had the right family, I guess, and to some degree, but you had the wrong friends. He would do all these things I couldn't. But of course, I wasn't doing them. That wasn't me. That was him. As time passed, the Night Devil became something of a figure. He wasn't being led around by his friends anymore. He was leading them. They adopted his skull mask and started their to mark their turf. He started a gang. The Night Devil would get into lots of fights with other hoodlums, other gangs, all while under the moon's disguise. The Night Devil got really into good at fighting too. So good that he gained a bit of a reputation. My father eventually learned of the secret of the Night Devil, but not until I had already gone to college. I still haven't gone back home. Not even, I don't even know if he'd let me. Anyways, as I stayed at a somewhat local college, I started to think that enough was enough. The Night Devil had his fun, but he wasn't welcome anymore. I stuck it to the straight and narrow for a while. Got my education, found a job at a construction company that I still work to this day. Eventually, however, it started to bore me of the tedium of life. I was content with a simple life, but something felt missing. If it was only one night. I only let him roam the streets for one night, but what happened that night, he went to a bar. He got pretty drunk, got into an argument with another man who also happened to be pretty drunk, took it outside. The Night Devil only shoved him, and yet luck was not with that man that night. The curb hit his head, and he died. I didn't kill him. The Night Devil did. and and he was a true monster I had let run around in the world. After that night, I vowed to never let him run free again, and since it was my fault for letting him out, I obsessively followed the story around his death. I was sure at any moment the police would come knocking at my door, there to arrest me for his crimes. But I was lucky. They never found any evidence linking me to that death. They never even had enough evidence to pin it down as a homicide. I thought it was simply that for a time. However, since I was following his death, I learned of one other tragic fact. He had a young daughter. Much worse, he was a single father, with no close relatives. The girl was transferred to an orphanage. It must have been such a sad time for her. I felt a responsibility to her. I thought about adopting her at the time, but I felt it like too cruel of an irony. A father's murderer adopts his only daughter. What a horrible man that must be. No, better to let sleeping dogs lie. Horse. Oh, goddammit. This game is a good way to make murderers sympathetic. Because I feel like Horse would. You should have. If only to indulge in this story, Horse, you should have adopted the daughter, and because you didn't kill the daughter's child. The Night Devil did. That's why you should have adopted the child. You would have been a good father, and you could have passed on her adoptive grandfather's teachings. You could even brought her back home and explain. But time passed, and she wasn't being adopted. It wasn't a good orphanage either. I used to have friends who lived there, and they'd tell me horror stories. Since the night the devil murdered had killed the poor man, wasn't it my responsibility to at least make sure his daughter was can have. Oops, let's go back. I felt it was the only way to atone for my sins, and so she became my daughter. Okay, nice. Ever since that night, I kept the Night's Devil mask locked up in a box deep in the attic, with all the memories associated with him. And yet, through some cruel irony, when I woke up, I had this mask on under the horse mask. Clearly, Brian had done his research. I didn't plan on ever using the mask to let him out again, but, well, once the hunts began, I knew who needed to do the killing. Mouse, don't go crazy. That's a fair assumption. But hearing that story, I don't think the Night Devil killed anyone. It was an accident, right? What's the difference does the intention make? What will your daughter think when she finds out what you've done? She won't find out. She will. And let me guess, you never told her you were the one who killed her daddy either, right? Of course I haven't. I wasn't the man who killed him. How you pathetic. That I am. But at least I can. The least I can do is finish my job. You mean? I mean, he's going to kill us in case we forgot. Any last words? You don't have to do this. Please, I know this isn't really you. You wouldn't mercilessly kill two girls just begging for their lives, would you? You told me you'd protect them. You told me you'd protect me. You said everything would be fine. You want to be good, right? To atone? Is that really how you plan to do it? Stop this. Please stop this. I don't want to die. Please, just cry now. Please spare me. Save me. Horse stood over Sheep, and yet he had stopped in his tracks. Sheep had curled up into a ball, crying non-stop, utterly powerless and pathetic. It should have been an easy kill, and yet the horse picked up Sheep by her collar, walked over to the door and opened it and threw her out. He then yanked the handle. Is Sheep his adopted daughter or something? She doesn't look old enough to be. Oh, she doesn't look young enough to be. Well, even that horse doesn't look old enough to be. Well, then again, it's adopted. So he yanked the handle and left so hard the wood around its splinters. He gave it a testing. He gave it a testing shove, and just as intended, the door could no longer be opened or closed. You stay out there for this. For now, first I gotta deal with this one to deal with. Horse turned around to stare me down. I guess this is how it's going to go. Nothing personal. The room's lights were off. and the curtains were lowered. The room was dark, and my opponent lumbered tall and strong. The mouse versus the horse. Never thought I'd be in a one-on-one fight with this guy, but there was no escapes. This was it. Things were so tense. I looped back around to being calm. It was super expected that I'd die here, right? In that case, might as well accept it. I'm probably going to die, so let's just see what I can do. No pressure. I'm ready when you are. Ready? Don't tell me you're actually going to try and fight me. Sort of. It'd be simpler if you didn't. And I bet you'd like it when things are simple, huh? You'd like it too. After all, simple deaths are the least painful. I mean, I don't know. Dying of old age could be painful depending on how on what's killing you slowly. Actually, not dying deaths is the least painful. There's no such thing as not dying death. I know, I was being poetic. To, like, you know, turn your phrase back on around on you. Didn't work. Are you going to come after me or what? Fine. Paul started to make his way towards me. Oh crap. I didn't think this far ahead. I saw him swing his fist as I ducked under it and started running away. Running away? Where to? Away from you. How long will that last you? Who knows? This could get annoying. Of course it would. Instead of chasing me down, Paul started to pick up the desk. Was he going to throw that at me? Then I realized that I should hit. I still had the taser that on me that Sheep gave me. I only had one shot, but when was a battery better time than this? The shot came out widespread and unfocused, but enough. It hit Horse to make him drop the desk and shout out. Yes, this was my chance. I ran up to him and started punching him in the chest. What? It didn't take long to realize I wasn't doing anything. Horse, more annoyed than hurt, swat away at me with his other hand. This is like the Wasp versus Hulk, if we had to compare it to like Marvel. I wasn't able to make it out of the way in time. He sent me crashing into the nearby table. Ouch. Ow. Why did you have to go and do that? Once again, Horse started to approach me. This time, however, I didn't see a clear place to run away to. I needed to get him to stop and catch him off guard. That is true. Because he's not wearing the mask, because he's doing the killing. Because obviously he's going to say no, and he's going to say no to these two. This one actually gives him two choice. What? You said the Night Devil's a murderer, right? But the one who's coming after me right now is you, isn't it? That's... Both looked conflicted. And being conflicted meant an opportunity. On a nearby shelf there was a couple of vials. I grabbed one little vinegar, and threw it right in his face. This caught him off guard, and the glass shattered against his face, leaving him drenched. What sets... we're in a chemical class, right? So we can make a fire, thanks to Pig. We know this. The impact put him off balance. He stumbled back, and the skull mask fell out of his pocket. The skull mask. I ran for it and grabbed it. And as he tried to grab me, I dodged, run further into the lab. That's right, run. Running's all you're good for. You let the others do the work. You run away after they fail. That's all you've done in this game. That's all you can do. His words stung. I had been running this whole time. That's true. He ran when there was when Dog died. Ran when Dragon died. Ran when Snake died, and ran when Bunny, quote unquote, sheep, and Tiger. Because I'm still surprised about that error in the text. It's the first one I think I found in this entire game. His words stung. I'd been running the whole time, but running had kept me alive. Horse was rapidly making his way towards me, but maybe there was something I could do, some trick I could keep me alive. I looked over the nearby desk and saw 3 balls of chemicals. I wasn't sure, but maybe, just maybe one of them could save me. I don't know. I'm gonna save because I feel like one of these can set these on fire. Can set vinegar on fire. Oh, that's unfortunate. Let's ignore this, and then we'll save again. There we go. I don't think arsenic does it. it's a 50-50 between peroxide and sodium. I think it's sodium and vinegar, if that's what if memory serves, between pig and pig's route. I grabbed the sodium and poured it inside the skull mask. Then I prayed a horse would approach me. Now's your time to die. Wait. What? You shouldn't stain your hands with my blood. It should be the night demon, right? The night devil. Yeah, let him finish me off. I handed him the skull mask and hoping he would take the bait. Yes, you're right. He's the killer. He should do this. With one hand, he took the butcher knife out of his pocket. And the other, he reached for the mask and took placed on his head. Pathetic. There's nothing you can do. The face of my might. With that, he suddenly rushed me, stabbing me with the knife. He pulled it from my throat and blood poured out from my body. I could only think, man, I was really hoping that would react with the vinegar. Then I died. 6 of okay. When Mouse is facing down Horse alone, she'll make a massive disadvantage. She needs to catch him off guard by confronting him with the truth. Even then, if she doesn't remember something special trick that would catch even Horse off guard, Horse will end up killing her. Okay, and so it wasn't sodium, so is it peroxide? I grabbed the peroxide, poured it in. Okay. Now time to die. Wait. Yeah? Okay, cool. Yes, you're right. He should do this. He took it. Okay. However, the moment... Oh, because it was peroxide. Okay. The mask made contact with his face. He began screaming. He tore it off, but it was too late. His entire face was burning. What's wrong? Can't handle the heat? Gah. Vinegar and peroxide. Each is fairly harmless on their own, but together, they make a rather powerful combination. A rather painful combination. Horse fell to his knees, racked in pain. He kept screaming, grabbing his face, but the burning wouldn't stop. As he did this, the dagger fell onto the floor. I couldn't waste this opportunity. I quickly rushed over and grabbed the knife on the floor. Then with all my strength, I stabbed it right into his neck. Right then, as I stabbed him, he stopped screaming and his eye jolted open. He stared at me and gave me a long, hard stare. Then after what felt like an eternity, the man on his knees fell forward. Horse laid face down on the floor, nothing more than a corpse. I did it. Where the others had failed, through quick thinking and sheer luck, I had managed to kill him. I murdered him. I won. It didn't feel like it. The rest of the race was a blur to me. Sheep helped me break down the door and that Horse had jacked up. The run and high strategy ended up working. God damn it, Rooster's plan worked. Ended up working out pretty well for Rooster, Monkey, Pig and Ox, because they were all fine. Okay. Grimly. With so many of us dead, we had the necessary minor trinkets to run together as a group. Even though all that insanity, no one stopped pressing run, so we were all the same space. Horse ended up being one space away from the finish line. He was a hair's breadth from victory. Victory I stabbed out of him. There was no longer any opposition, sorry. Just the 6 of us left. We all worked as a group together at Escape. Then we all crossed the finish line together. Our metal collars came loose. We were free. But I knew even then, stepping away from that graveyard of a school, that thing couldn't be the same. I would be permanently scarred, and the 6 lives would be permanently over. Dog, dragon, snake, bunny. In the end, they were all killed. They were all killed for nothing. I could hear the Jade Emperor's laughter. It wasn't a victory. It was a loss. 8 of spades. If nothing is found in the first 3 rounds, but the sheep's pad trinket and weapons, Horse will be assigned the role that forces him to act. It isn't possible to accept death without a fight. Horse is a monster who can beat any other animal in a fair fight. This, however, a potential miracle if Mouse can tire out Horse and trick him. But this possibility is both slim and bloody. Better paths definitely await. And with that, I think we'll end it there. I'll try and find a new path, and we'll start off the next episode then. Until then, I'll see you there. Goodbye.